Hi Pisces, welcome to your end of September 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. So, you're the man and woman of the hour because the full moon is in your sign as I record this tonight. So, oh, there's your card, the Hangman. That's one of the cards of Pisces. I wonder if I'll get the moon card. I got that for another sign. Oops, I think these are two cards. Nope. Looks like it's just one. I like that these cards are nice and thick because they are they're going to be very durable. Okay. The heart of the matter is the King of Wands. I mean swords. It's like, sometimes it's like kind of blurry and I can't see. And this is, I got this in the exact same position for another sign. I don't know which one. But it's kind of like, maybe it was Scorpio. And it's really about having to put your feelings on the side. Now, this full moon, obviously, is very emotional because it's in a water sign, but there's like this sense of something ending for all of us. But how about for you? Because it's a late degree of Pisces, and Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So, wow. And then you're you. So you may be looking around and noticing that things are changing, and yet there's a sense of like, I don't know what to do with this information. It's just too intense. Maybe some of the changes are emotionally getting to you. And in those cases, definitely feeling your feelings is important, but you can't drown in your feelings. So perhaps an example would be that if you are someone who's, your last child has left the nest and you're an empty nester, you may be feeling a lot of melancholy because it's like, where did the last 18 years go? And what am I going to do? Who am I now? I can say, if I go to a cocktail party and somebody says, what do you do? I can say, I'm a mother, but they'll go, wait, how old are your children? Oh, I have a 25-year-old and I have a 19-year-old, or I have an 18-year-old. Well, are you really still a mother? See, that's a temporary designation. So that's what the first house is, where the full moon is. It's like that sense of identity, that sense of self. And that may be something that you have to upgrade so that it has nothing to do with your worldly existence, that it's more your, I mean, to lecture a Pisces about this seems like a bit unnecessary, but some of you are going to be more, it's like you're psychic, so you feel like you don't have to really do much of anything because you already have this strong intuition, but there could be areas where you have to develop some of those false beliefs into the knowingness of what you're here for. In the past position, we have the Hangman, and this is a card associated with your ruler, Neptune. And I think the reason it's associated with Neptune is for two main reasons. One is because the Hangman can represent a time in your life where you feel like you're being put on hold and you have to wait. But there's a sense of you being hung up by somebody else. This is not you just taking a breather and saying, I'm going to take the next 6 months off. I just need a rest, or I just need to get my head together. This is about someone else delaying you in some way. Maybe constantly promising something and then keeping you holding on or hanging on for another period of time. And so, for instance, a work situation where you may have been put on hiatus and then you were told you were going to go back at a certain time or date, and then that time came and went, and they said, oh, no, well, actually, now it's going to be this. And after a certain amount of time, some people might start to dawn on them, I think they're trying to keep me there in case they need me, but they don't want to, they're not really, there's no intention really of having me work necessarily if they can help it. It would only be for an emergency. So, but you, if you liked where you were, you might go along with it, or you might be in denial over it. And so the other thing that this can represent is like sacrifice, but only you know if it's a worthy sacrifice or if it's something that is kind of like foolish, that you're giving up something else just to wait for something. Oh yeah, King of Swords, that can be like some legal decision from like a judge, but it could be foolish if you are involved with somebody who keeps telling you they're going to get divorced, and they're just, instead of saying the check is in the mail, they're saying the divorce decree is in the mail. And yet it just never seems to come, strangely enough. And there can be this sense of like, I'm going to wait. It's interesting because I was just thinking earlier today about how sometimes a person can go to a psychic, or even there might even be like astrologers or tarot readers who a person is dealing with in a private reading, and that person wants to tell you what you should do. And I've always been kind of like, no, that's wrong. That nobody should ever tell you what to do. I think the reason I was thinking about that is somebody wrote to me today and said, oh, so are you saying I should do it or not do it? And I was thinking, so I was kind of ambiguous, I guess, about something in one of my general tarot readings. And I was thinking to myself, well, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't do that. Because it's first of all, I don't have all the information, and it's not going to be a well thought out piece of advice, but also that's not my responsibility. And it just gives that person a chance to blame you if it doesn't work out the way that they had hoped. And so when you put the ball into people's own court, you're taking away your responsibility for their life. And so this is a little piece of advice if you're somebody who likes to give advice to others, is that, don't set yourself up for being the person that they blame. You told me to do this, and look what happened. It didn't work out. There are too many variables. There's too many factors. And some people just don't want to face what they're supposed to be doing. That's just the truth. But anyway, I was going to say I think I'm actually starting to drift off because I went to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I do that. So, oh well, I'll leave that one alone. It was just something that I was thinking about. Oh yeah, I know some of you might have even clicked off by now. But what I was going to say is that I actually did have a client who had been told by a psychic to, wait for a particular person. And, I don't know how long that person waited for that person to come back into their life, but suffice it to say it didn't happen. And I was thinking to myself, boy, I could have done the same thing and told them just wait, and then that ensures that they'll get more business. But that's not ethical, is it? And I don't do things like that. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm not virtue signaling, but I'm just thinking of the Hangman. If you're in a situation where you're involved with somebody who's saying that they're going to get divorced, pay attention to how this is making you feel. You may feel like you're being jerked around, and you may very well be being jerked around. The higher message is the King of Wands. This is a card of being like self-actualized. That would be the highest degree, but just in general, this is a card of ultimate self-empowerment, stepping into your power. The King is the greatest example of this because it's double masculine energy, which has nothing to do with your particular gender. It just has to do with the ideas of taking charge, not being passive. That's the feminine principle. And that has a place. It's not like one is better than the other, but in whatever the situation is, you may need to take action. And perhaps you've been kind of not doing it because once you get the ball rolling, you feel like things are going to happen and you don't necessarily want to change course right now. And that's totally understandable, and I think totally acceptable, as long as you know exactly what you're doing. Yeah, this is interesting because this is the card that challenges you, the Strength card. So this is going to be a challenge for you right now, is to have the confidence in yourself, believing in yourself, first and foremost. That's what confidence really is. You believe in yourself, so you project your talents to others. People who don't believe in themselves are their body language may be kind of hunched over. They might be, contracting, not kind of sticking their chest out and being, very upright. They might be kind of hunched over, and I think sometimes the hunched over situation energetically is trying to protect oneself and not feeling like you've got this shield of protection around you or something like that, whatever that means for you, and that you are at other people's mercy. And Pisces tends to feel like that anyway, where you feel this sense of other people have the ability to control you, or that they have power over you. I'm not saying every Pisces is like this, but this is part of that Pisces template. Hey, get a muffler. Buy a muffler. This is during rush hour. I live in a residential area, but right around the times of rush hour, twice a day, it gets a little bit noisier, and I have the windows open. Also, the Strength card is connected to Leo, so that could be somebody that is not really necessarily good for you. The Tower card is what's coming in, shaking things up. This is call it the change agent, or like the catalyst for change, because you really call the shots, and in some cases you might be resisting change and it comes anyway. So it comes whether you initiate it or it's coming from an outer source. And so, for instance, if you're like dating somebody who's married or involved in another relationship, and you choose to stay in that situation, maybe the partner of this person that you're seeing finds out about your relationship and tells their partner to leave. And guess what? The partner doesn't run into your arms. That person was never really intending to come to you. And so that becomes that shock of like, oh, I've been played. I was just being used to have a good time. Mercury retrograde is happening in Libra. And it's for you, that is that 8th house. And it is an area that has to do with metaphysics and things like that. So hypnosis may be very attractive to you at this time. The reason I'm bringing this up is it can be, it might even be a time when you are tuning into people even better, that you can, Mercury retrograde, I don't know if Mercury retrograde makes it easier to tune into people, but this is a water house, so that's why I'm thinking like any kind of Mercury transit makes people, you know, easy to put under hypnosis and then travel back and relive certain things, relive traumas, but you can at least think about them in any case. And in doing so, be able to emerge victorious. The outcome is the Ace of Pentacles. This is like a new job. This can be, in some cases, a new relationship with somebody who is very stable, maybe a literal earth sign, which is very compatible to water signs like Pisces. So we're talking about Taurus, or your opposite sign Virgo, or Capricorn, receiving money of some sort. And yeah, maybe that's what there you go. The Mercury retrograde, it could be like a will. This is other people's money. So there might be some kind of thing that's not settled with that. But Mercury goes direct, I believe, on the 18th of October. And that can be a time of like being able to resolve whatever is going on. Okay, that's what I have for you, Pisces. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Have a great rest of September. It's going fast, isn't it? Take care. Bye.